or mental suffering also. All of this. That's what is called mental factors. So then what is being negated, what is being said that is not there, is a third entity, something more than the body or the mind. That this combination of body and mind is empty of something more, which we call I, me, or self. And the way it appears that yes, of course, there is a separate, independent, permanent, autonomous I or me. Maybe at the moment not. Maybe at the moment you're quite open, you listen to me with your ears and with your mind, you try to figure out what I'm saying, you're sitting here with your body, with the body. But if somebody would go to the door and call out your name, something more would jump. Who, me? And you will point here. Yeah? The Japanese point here. So even that is not universal. When the Japanese say I, they go like this. That one does not exist. That is the emptiness of person. A lack of inherently permanent I. Because permanent means not changing. Something that has a function cannot change. Because as it functions, it changes. And it can function because it is impermanent, because it can change. Permanent means not changing moment by moment by moment by moment. So this thing is impermanent. Even this thing, which is metal, is impermanent. If I leave it for, I don't know how many 100 years, but it will definitely disappear also. Yeah? Because it has something inbuilt that is called impermanence. And the impermanence and the metal, they are one. Even though the impermanence is not the metal and the metal is not the impermanence, but you can't separate them. As long as you have metal, you have impermanence. As long as you have impermanence, then you need metal, otherwise you don't have the impermanence hanging out here. This is why when we go to emptiness also, ultimate existence, that things are empty by nature, and conventional existence has to go together. The same way as impermanence and metal in this thing. Do you understand? Flower we understand better because we can see it almost. Yeah. The impermanence is inbuilt in there. This is why it can grow. Yeah. Otherwise it cannot grow. So our body and mind function. They exist. But they're impermanent. And there is no third entity that owns the thing. And the feeling of I that we have is permanent, means it doesn't change. And many people say when they don't observe, that's not true. But just if you think it's not true, that your feeling of I or me or self does not change, observe every morning when you wake up if the feeling of I, me has changed or not. Has anybody made that observation? Otherwise I give you always the same example, which is, I think, really good. A photograph of you in kindergarten, in a group. And you show the photograph. Somebody says, which one is you? You point and you say, what do you say? Anybody says this was me? Because your I, the feeling of me, I, is still the same as when we were, as long as we can remember. And that one does not exist. That permanent, independent, not depending on body and mind, autonomous, singular, only one I. Because we unless for normal people, we have one I. And it's not possible to have only one I when we take it apart, because it appears as if it's possible, but it's not, because sometimes you're happy and sometimes you're sad. But the I that is behind these emotions feels always the same. So that's not possible, because when you're happy, you have a happy I, your eye is happy, and when you're sad, you have a sad eye, and that's okay. But we don't feel like this. Instinctively, we feel as if we have one eye. Because when somebody calls you, you're not saying, which eye would you like? The happy one or the unhappy one? Who, me? There we go. Who, me? And then that's it. Yes, I. Did you just stretch or do you want to ask something?
How would you a bit to be stable?
How we keep stable?
Yeah.
By understanding it's our belief in such an I that is making us unstable. By going with the flow. By seeing that all we are is a dynamic process. There's nothing there to, and there's no I to protect. Yeah? There's a body that we should protect, there's a mind that we should protect. But there's no I that we, because we're trying to protect something that does not exist. That's why it doesn't work. We're trying to make something happy, which is an I that does not exist. That's why it doesn't work. We're trying to be singular. We think we are individual. We think we are independent. When you have old people, they go like, you know, me also. I can say old people because I'm old. I'm almost 70. That's old. You know, don't come and say, oh, it's not old. It's old. I mean, it's like, when I was 20, somebody 70, they were very old. So it's okay to be old. It's okay to be old, it's okay to be fat. You know, main point is you're happy. That's what is important. Who cares about young and fit and this and that? Main point for me is the mind. And this whole thing, you know, in a healthy body, there's a healthy mind. That's absolutely not true. A healthy mind in a sick body you can have. This is possible. So anyway, how can we become more stable? By protecting our mind from negative emotions, by understanding what negative emotions are.
Right also.
Huh?
To be stable, right and true.
Yeah, right and true. Let go of this right and true. It doesn't exist. In conventional reality, right and true does not exist. If I point to the point here, is this point here or is it there? Huh? It's what?
You're here, our there.
It's not the same. Here and there is not the same. I'm sorry. Logically speaking, here and there is different. So what is it? Here or there? Is it truly here or is it truly there?
For me it is there.
Huh?
For me it is there.
Yeah, so is it truly there?
For you it is here.
For me it's here. So is it truly here or is it truly there?
Let's agree to disagree.
Which is true? He's asking what is true. So which is true? Huh?
It's relative.
Neither and both.
No, both no. Neither and both cannot be. Because that contradicts.
Well,
So, but
it's both
neither.
here and there, so it's neither and both.
Exactly. It can be neither, and that's it. Neither, and then we come with this. Then it's relatively true. And relatively true means there is not one truth. For me, the truth is it's here. For you, the truth is it's there. So we let go of this absolute truth. You see this whole thing about wanting an absolute truth. There is an absolute truth in Buddhism, but that one has no function. It's the emptiness. You know, it's in quantum physics, it's the possibilities for things to arise. Okay? So it is this holding on, I am right and you are wrong, which both of them think. If you have an enemy, the enemy is the bad guy. And if your enemy is seeing you as an enemy, you are the bad guy and he's the good guy. And if that one is the enemy, you think you're the good guy and that is the bad guy. So who is really truly the good or the bad guy? And this is where conflict arises. You see the guy who wants to sell his vegetables, he sells them to me because nobody else takes them. But he wants to sell his vegetables because he wants to earn some money. And I understand that he also doesn't like to throw away his vegetables because everybody is so bloody choosy and only wants to be really good ones.
Yeah.
Yeah? It's hard work to grow vegetables. Have you ever thought when you eat your vegetables about people work in the fields? And I eat You in your nice air-conditioned room. Vegetables don't grow in air-conditioned rooms. So this will make your mind a bit more stable, Ari, when we start to think about others. And when we start to see which emotions make me stable and open. As we said, with what Einstein says, trying to be only a part of the universe and not an individual, that alone, just the trying of it, will make you more happy and more stable. We'll have a break soon, and then we try to find out. Gratitude, love, not attached love, because my children, my family, but just may you be happy. Compassion, may you be free from suffering. We start to understand which emotions I have to develop, nourish, which make me more stable and more open. The more me, self-centered, I want to be right, we are, the more narrow the possibility to be happy becomes, because the more I need that things are exactly the way I want them to be out there. The more I let things be as they are, as long as they're not too bad, that's it. The stability is in the mind. But this one truth is like, it creates so much problem. Look at religions. Yeah? This is why the Buddha comes and says, my teachings are not true. Wow, what a relief. No need to fight with other religions that I'm right and you're wrong. I think the way religion is going at the moment, and I'm not just meaning the religious people here, I mean like everywhere, also the Christians and the Muslims and whatever, they become all very fundamentalists. And what does happen? War. Is that what religion wanted? To fight for the truth. Do you think God is happy about this? That's what the Dalai Lama says. He says, you have the Christians, the Muslims, and the Jews. They have the same God. Now, one party is praying to this God to help God to destroy the other one. He said, what is God going to do? You're all his children. Yeah? This is what I mean, this whole thing about looking for the truth that is so important in this country, I found. Yeah? Everything that is functionable, everything that we can perceive, everything that we can talk about is not really true. It's only conventionally true. It becomes true when you hold it for truth. Yeah? And this is where the conflict starts. So if I see that, yes, okay, I have my truth. My truth is that for me, Buddhism is best. But that's for me. For you, you decide what for you is best. Maybe one truth that we all have, one thing that I think maybe is universal, we all want happiness, and nobody wants to suffer. Is that true? And when we are angry at somebody, what do? We're happy when they suffer. We forget about that truth. We're not living according to that truth. That everybody wants to be happy and nobody wants to suffer. Nobody wants to be harmed. We are not living according to that truth. We're living to the truth of I want to be happy, me first. Yeah? This is the thing. Okay, so now we make a break. I haven't come to the 4-point analysis, which I'm very happy because I was thinking yesterday, oh my gosh, what am I going to talk about in the afternoon? Now, I didn't get to that, so I'm very happy. Thank you very much. Relatively happy, of course. So we have like a break until 12 o'clock. Is that right? Yeah? Or no? It's not right. Okay, never mind. Anyway, we have a break until 12 o'clock. We meet again. We do a short reflection on this, trying to imagine to be part of the universe. Or you can already practice in the break. You go to the tea, you go to the water, you go to the cookies, you go to the fruits. Try to see who else is in there. Instead of just taking, it's mine. None of this is yours. You might have brought it, you might have bought it, okay? But you didn't grow it, you didn't make it. Even if you made the cake that you grew, did you make the flour? No. Did you make the sugar? No. Did you make the water? No. Somebody put pipes into your house so that you can just open the tap. And in case you put eggs in the cake, you definitely didn't make the eggs. And somebody suffered very much to make eggs for you. So try to think like this. This is becoming a part of the universe. And when we are a part of the family, what are we doing with the family? We're trying to take care of it. So we are part of this universe. You see, the universe is not depending on us. But we are very dependent on the universe. The universe without human beings, oh, it would be so well off. I'm not joking. I'm not joking. That's when the Dalai Lama was here in Israel, and you really need courage to say that. He said, I don't know if you saw the video, it's like when there was a video made in the Cinerama, I think it was, Cinematheque, big hall, yeah, and he said, oof, if we want to save this planet, we have to eliminate humanity. That was maybe 20 years ago he said that. I think he's right. We will destroy ourselves if we continue with the plastic and with just taking and not really taking care of it. Air condition, electricity, power, all of this, just for our comfort. You see, if the comfort that we have, if it would really make us happy, it would be worthwhile maybe to destroy the planet. But it doesn't make us happy. This is the thing, it promises too much. You know, people came here like, 100 years ago, they didn't have air conditioning, they survived. Okay? Do you think you're much happier than they are because you have air conditioning and the cars and the supermarkets and all this? You think the society, not you as an individual, because it might be that you're very happy. I'm not saying that. But society in general, with all the progress that we are making, you think the society is healthier and better off. Oh, you don't dare to say, do you? But what do you think? Are we stronger, healthier, happier, more considerate about others than people were 100 years ago when they first came here? Are we? Not at all. No. We become more self-centered, more dependent on cars, electricity, power, good food, this and that, and
And more lonely.
And more lonely. So many lonely people. So many lonely people. Because we don't see that dependence we have on others. And this is why we get lonely. If you look into a cup of tea and you start to think, wow, so many beings are in this cup of tea, your loneliness is gone. But because we think we are independent, and old people, they say, I don't want to go to old people's home, I lose my independence. This independence is about that we think we have, is about the biggest illusion that we live, Just imagine all the people in the shop, food shops, they stop working, filling the shelves for 3 months. All the shuks empty. Or the garbage people stop working a month. You have to take care of your own garbage instead of just sticking it in a bag and putting it outside. Maybe then we become more careful. You see, recycling is a good thing, but not using too much is much better. How about you take your plastic bags to the market? Why getting a new one every time and your plastic bags at home stack up? Yeah, I know I'm being moralistic now, it's okay. Because we're all part of this universe. We are all destroying ourselves. If you feel bad now, that's a good thing. If I make you feel guilty, that's good. But don't sit with the guilt. Do something. Make a promise to the universe. Okay, next week, every time I go shopping, I take my own bags with me, for example. Whatever I have plastic, I'm sure not to throw it out, but put it in the orange bins. Or in these ones in the street. It's so easy. I mean, they have drawings on it. Even I, as non-Hebrew speaker, understands what goes where. Why is it so difficult? We have to learn. Because we're so used that we are so independent, we just throw everything out. So that goes with this thing, you know, being part of the universe to make you stable and say, at least I do my bit. Then what is the next step? Then you have to work at not getting angry at the people who throw everything out into nature. That's the next step. So instead of getting angry, you take a plastic bag which is lying there and you stuff the things inside. And you throw them away because you know where they belong to. And you don't feel like, wow, look at me, what I'm doing. You just do it. As if it would be your house. If your kids make a mess, you pick it up. You don't feel like the victim, do you? Do you? You do? Okay. Some others don't. Some others don't. They do it happily because the kids, when they're 3 or 4 years old, they're too.
When they're young.
Yeah, when they're young. So why feel the victim when they're older? What is changing there? They're still your children. You're their Iman, you're their Abba, or Safta or Saba. It's okay. You know? Can you see that feeling the victim is not coming from that side but from this?
It's a contract.
Yeah. It's a contract, okay. But do they know that? Have they signed the contract?
No. In order for me to be the victim, it's like a contract that I allow something to attack me.
Yeah. So if you don't want to be the victim with your grown-up children, they need to sign a paper saying, I will clean up my own mess. And then you can feel like the victim when they don't do it. Okay, but anyway, boom. Now go and have your break, because otherwise you never finish here. And we meet again in 20 minutes, 5 past 12. Okay?